All right. So yesterday we had started with the introduction to conditional formatting, and we understood why we need conditional formatting and what is the meaning of conditional formatting. So I just want to say before we start, let's just have two ground rules for conditional formatting. Number one, do not select the headers, right? In most of the tools, either I'm telling you select the headers or I'm telling you it doesn't matter whether you select. But over here, definitely do not select your headers. Headers are the fields on the top. The first row on the top, these are called headers. So do not select the headers. Second is select all cells which you want to format. So a lot of time I've seen people doing is applying formatting condition on one cell and then trying to copy paste that formatting condition on the rest of the cell. Sometimes it works, sometimes it gives problems. So I would request that let's select all the cells on which you want to apply the formatting rules. Now let's go to the rule number one. So we are in sales column. I'm going to select all the cells except the headers. Conditional formatting is in the home tab. Over here, conditional formatting. And then you have manage rules. So once you go to manage rules over here, you can apply new rules to your columns. And we click on new rule. The first rule says format all cells based on their value. So is it going to format all the cells or few cells?
Only the selected one?
Only few cells.
All the selected cells.
The
Only
selected, but in
one.
selected all or few?
All.
Few.
All.
All.
So unlike the definition of conditional formatting, what was the definition? It formats based on a condition. But the first rule says format all cells based on the value. So how does it work? Within the first rule, you will see we have 4 different styles. One is 2-color scale, 3-color scale, data bars, and icon sets. So why we use each one of them? What is the significance of using these formats? So let's start with the 2-color scale. In 2-color scale, you can pick and choose what color you want for minimum, what you want for maximum. Let's say minimum, we want a white, maximum, we want to give a blue, right? And what happens is minimum gets white, maximum gets blue, and in between values get the transition of the colors from blue to white. So you can see the entire gradation that has been showing over here. So once I click on OK, and we click on OK to apply it, we get an end product like this. So when you look at this product, when you look at this output, is it useful or not useful?
No.
No,
Not,
not
not
useful.
really.
No.
Not really, right? It's just different shades of blue you're looking at.
Yeah.
So not really helpful. Okay. Now let's do one thing. Let me try to show you another thing. Let's say there are products in the row and there are date in the region in the column. And let's go ahead and get rid of our grand totals. Okay. And I'm going to put sales value over here. All right. So this is my table. I've got product wise, year wise sales report. Now what I'm going to do, even though it's a pivot, you can still apply conditional formatting. So selected the area where I want to format. Home, conditional formatting, manage rules, new rule, going to stick to the 2-color scale. Same thing I'm going to do, white over here and do over here. And okay, and okay. Now when you look at it, any understanding, any insights that you can draw from the data? Where white is minimum, blue is maximum.
Okay, can we set any rule?
Yes, in 2009 there is all blue.
Yeah.
2009,
And
it's all
right,
blue.
right.
In 2010, we can see 7th row
Highest.
has, highest.
Lowest sales
The
was
highest
in
sales.
2011.
Lowest and
So
highest
we just
score.
Right.
need to focus on white and dark blue.
Absolutely. So we just need to focus on the white and the dark blues. That's where your focus would be typically. So initially also I did the same thing, but why you could not see the relevance of it because there was too much data to focus on. So if we have a smaller amount of data which fits into one view, What this helps us to do, what the 2-color scale helps us to do is focus on min and max values. We are not going to look at what is light blue or which is little darker blue and things like that. We can understand that Sunset did very well, and then in 2000 it did very bad. Easy to understand. Carlota did very well. It increased from 2009 to 10, and 2011 nothing was there. However, if you look at things like Belen and you look at Dews, they have been little consistent in their performance. Correct? So all this inference I could have got just by looking at the view and based on the colors, not even reading the values properly. So that's the role of 2-color scale. Can't visualize data in one go. Yes. And similarly, if I want to focus on min, max and the average, then we go to 3-color scale. So you can go to manage rules and let me edit this rule itself and I'll make it 3-color scale. So you get a midpoint, also gets a color. And when you click on it, now it's going to be focused on 3-color scale. So we can see the 2000 did the best, 11 did the worst, and 2009, since it's more of yellowish than a bluish tone, it is on the average side. Correct?
Yes.
So
Yes.
2-color scale is used for min and max, and 3-color scale is used for min, max, and average.
Average.
Ishani,
Now, what-
Ishani, can you please
Yes.
explain again and
Which one?
this word? Can you please explain again this?
The 3-color scale.
Yeah.
So in 3-color scale, we are giving one color to the lowest or the minimum value, one to the maximum value, and the 50 percentile is getting yellowish color. Okay.
Okay.
So whatever is the highest values are going to be blue. So we can easily identify when we look at this visualization that Carlota in 2010, Sunset in 2009 and 2010 did well because they are more of blue tones, right? Anything which is more on yellow is average and anything which is white is on the lower side. So 2011 did the worst.
Lower.
Yeah.
Got it.
Clear?
2010
Yes.
is medium.
Yeah. 10 is leading. Now,
Yeah.
there are several things that we can do. One is lowest value, highest value, which, it gets automatically by itself from your data. But there are other choices like, for example, you also have a number. Now, what happens in case of number? I can define a number. Let's say if I want to say that anything which is 20,000 and let's put not 20,000, let's make it 25,000. Anything which is 25,000 and below is minimum. So all of the values, it's not just one value will get that color. Now all values from 25,000 and below get that color of white. And similarly, we can decide what is the highest number that, let's say there was a target. Then we can put it as, let's say the target was 35,000. So anything which is 35,000 and above is good. So now if I apply this thing, it's much more cleaner to look at, okay, where the targets were fulfilled, where the targets were not fulfilled, because you see, it's just not one cell which is white now. Any cell which has a value less than 25,000 is all white. So this is more focused on the numbers rather than only min and max.
Can between 25,000 to 35,000, it is light blue.
Gradations will be there depending on how closer it is to min and max.
Okay.
Right? So this can also be done. Then we can also work with percentages.
Ishani,
you
one
see-
quick question.
Yes,
So if we modify that data, will that conditional formatting will apply to that data as well?
absolutely.
Okay.
It
got
changes in a dynamic fashion that anytime all the values that you are working with, all the conditions that you're working with, if the value changes, automatically these are supposed to change. So these are not static colors at all.
No,
So
if we add
Huh.
some new row or some new column, it will apply to that as well.
So that
I
will
mean,
be only
sorry,
when you
row-
have it
row
as a
it-
table.
Okay. yeah.
When you have a table. But just to answer your question, for example, over here is 374. If I change it to, let's say, 35,000, automatically the colors changed.
And what if we add new row to that, only the J at last.
In
he had some
the
number.
J, let's say 7,000 something, nothing happened because this is
But-
not a table.
Table,
So if you
yeah.
remember,
Vaishani, I have one thing, like, but if we actually, extend the range, like instead of taking while applying the conditional formatting, we used only till 193. If we use like more,
J
if
to
we
J,
increase the range, then
J
it
to
will apply.
J.
But not J to J because we cannot select the header, I guess.
You can, but the whole point is let's stick to our basic understanding of what we developed throughout the module. That if I know my tables are supposed to be dynamic in nature, means the rows or the columns have to be, it will be altered. New rows and columns will be added. Let's make it a table. Because if you make something as a table, automatically everything flows in place, right? Now that I've entered this value, automatically color came in.
Yeah.
Because it's a table. So let's try to do that rather than trying to, pick up cells which are empty and increasing the work of Excel,
Okay.
right?
Sure. Yeah.
Okay, let's look at more things over here. Then we have number, then we can also make it as a percentage. Now, when you're making it as a percentage, remember this is from 0 to 100. So you have to say, okay, what is minimum, what is maximum? I can say top 90 is maximum and below 10 is what I'm defining as minimum. If you don't do it, then again from 0 to 100%, it will give a color to the values. Then you also have formulas. In formulas, typically what you can do, you can go and pick up a formula anywhere in your Excel sheets, and whatever is a value that is generated through that formula is being used as min and max over here. So you can straight away go and say, okay, this is the cell which will decide what is minimum and maximum. And as and when the value of the min and max changes, let's say if I make it 14,000, automatically the cells will keep on changing. If I make this 25,000, my cells keep on changing.
Nice. Yeah.
Okay.
Ishani, can you please show it again?
Yeah. So what I did was, instead of defining a fixed value for minimum, I said, let's pick up from the cell. So I picked it on the cell G9. So this could be a formula cell or a value cell in which when you're changing the value, it affects your conditional formatting.
Okay, got it.
Okay. So this is the 2-color scale and 3-color scale. Now let's move on to the next rule.
Ishani, if I give that specific cell a formula that is calculated on the basis of the table that is the pivot that is there, doesn't that give a circular reference error?
No, circular reference is only going to happen when you are trying to use a cell in the calculation.
Okay.
Like for example, I'm sitting in H9 and I'm working with the value of H9. That's the time you will get a circular reference.
Okay.
Okay, but other than that, no. All right.
Okay, got it.
Okay, the third style that is there is called data bars. This is used quite a bit in your dashboarding also. You must have seen somewhere. So in data bars, what it does, it creates a bar in the cell, like the preview at the bottom. And the larger the value is, the more filled the color of the cell will be. And the lesser the value, the lesser filled the cell value will be. So once I click OK and I click OK, this gets created. Okay, this has two, hold on, this has two of them. Let me delete this one so that this looks better. Yes. So this is how it's going to look like. Any usage?
Ishani, can you please open that role? Just wanted to look at it.
Sure. So I just did data bars. That is the third style, right? And I did not do anything else.
Oh,
I just left the default as color, and I left min and max as automatic, because again, over here, we have the same choices that we discussed, lowest number, person, formula.
Yeah.
So that's why I left it at automatic, clicked OK, and got this answer. So what could be, is it useful or not useful, or what does it remind you?
Not really. If we use that in pivot, it would, you know,
If the data is small, yeah, data is minimal,
It
then we
is
can use
useful.
it.
When data is
It is
small,
useful
does
when
it?
target
the-
is there. Some
Uh,
target, how much percentage, how much we have already achieved. Like in July, we are saying December target is something, then it is useful.
Okay. All right. And what does it remind you of?
Bar chart.
Bar
Bar
chart.
charts, correct.
bar
And what is the role of bar charts, by the way? Why did we use
In
bar
the
charts?
actual positions means which year
Show the
where the
comparison.
stand.
Comparison, right?
Yes.
Simple.
Trend of
We used to do a
trend.
comparison.
Yes.
So if I, even on a larger data set, if I put a bar chart like this, do you think I would be able to plot about 1300 and no, 189 data points on a bar chart and it will look good?
no.
No.
It will not look good. So sometimes when we have a larger table and visually we want to, you know, enhance the experience of the audience, we also put data bars. And in order to, like, for example, again, giving you along with the pivot table, because it is not that we can't use it on pivot table. So if I put products over here and I put the sales value over here, and on this I put a bar chart. I'm going to get rid of my, interesting, how come I don't have it? Strange. What happened? Somehow I lost my, okay, insert, pivot, and product and sales. Now it's coming. Last time when I was doing it, my design and analyze were not showing up. So that's why I was a little worried what happened.
Oh, okay.
Okay. I don't know if you guys noticed what I was looking for. I was looking for the design. It was not showing up. So if I have something like this, and on this I apply the conditional formatting, let's go with the new rule and let's go with the third style, which is my data bars. You can pick the colors. I have no doubt that you can pick the colors, and we can also do show bars only. So once we click on show bar, what it does, it's not that the values are gone, values are still there, but it shows in terms of bars and the values are still there. Okay, values are there, but kind of invisible to us. And the way it fills the bar is whatever is your largest value, that will show up as the full bar and others will be shown relative to it. So whatever is the highest value, that will be completely filled. And then with respect to that value, how the values are increasing or decreasing, the bars would be shown over here. So this could be a nice way of depicting, instead of a, you know, a bar chart, this could be a nice way of depicting to do a comparison between the products. Correct?
Yes.
Yes.
Especially when the values are more, bar chart becomes more and more difficult to create and make them look pretty. That is a challenge. So in our tables, when you do conditional formatting, and this you will also experience when we do Power BI. In Power BI also we have conditional formatting that we can apply to our tables. So we heavily use that in our dashboarding also. So same rules we can apply that you're learning over here today.
Shani, one question.
Yes, Tarun.
Can we set a maximum limit over here?
Maximum limit as in?
As in that in previous conditional formatting, we can set the minimum bar or maximum limit.
Yeah. Same. Everything is the same. So I am not touching those rules again and again because they are pretty much the same rules that we have. So it's just not automatic. You can have lowest number, percentile. Everything is the same over here.
Okay.
Right? So you can do that.
Okay.
And if numbers are negative, for example, let's say right now nothing is negative, but what if, let's say if I had products, I'm taking a smaller chunk and there were certain values and there are certain negative values also. Right? Then I can select this hold on. And when we click OK, see very nicely what it has done. It has given me in a cell itself, it created a middle axis, and anything which is positive, it is showing in a blue color, and towards the left, anything which is negative, it is showing in a red color, and I can do a show bar to make it look even better. Nice.
Yes.
So it's a very nice visualization that you get.
Shivani, is there,
Yes.
other than the bar, is there any other option as well? Data
Like
style? So
data?
if you pull up the conditional formatting conditions, if you can.
See, in this kind of work where all the cells are getting formatted, we can either color the cell. That's we did what 2-color scale and 3-color scale. Then we have bars and then we have icons. So these are the 3 main things that we can play around with.
Okay.
What did you want?
No, if you can just pull it up once more, because it was showing options. I think it was also showing bar and.
Icons. There is an option called icons.
Yeah, data bar. Yeah. Okay. Icon sets. Okay.
Like I said, we can color the cells, we can have bars, or we can have icons.
Okay. Icon sets. Yeah.
Okay. That's what we're going to do next. Any questions so far? When to use percentage versus percentile? Gunjan, this is an area for me also. I don't know. It's more a statistical thing that people think about or work on. I'm not very good with that. So don't know the answer to that. When should I use a percentile versus a percentage? Okay. Now, have you seen icons in your, when you're looking at some visualizations, or not even visualizations, when you're looking at some data in your routine life, do you see icons?
I saw it in the assessment solutions.
In the assessment solutions, yes. But before that, do you even encounter icons?
No, never.
Never.
No.
Nobody's on Facebook. Should I start searching?
Okay.
You guys are on Facebook, right?
Right.
Yes.
So do you say
Yes.
smile anymore, or you use icons to express your emotions these days?
Yeah, icons.
Yes,
Okay.
icons.
Yes.
You all are using icons, right? Whether it's Facebook, whether it's LinkedIn, whether it's your, WhatsApp messages or text messages, we all are gearing towards icon these days. So similarly, what we can do is we can put icons in our data also. So why do you think we can put icons in our data? Why do you think it will help us?
It will help us in bifurcating the data on the basis of the
Very
recording.
good, Ankita. Very good. It helps you to have a good categorization of the data. A very simple example, if you like, I am forced to watch, not a big fan of stock market, but if you watch the channel of stock market, over there the stocks are coming at the bottom, and there are stock name and a green arrow and a stock name and a red arrow. Did anybody sit next to you and train you on what does a green arrow mean, what does a red arrow mean, or it's understandable?
Understandable.
Understandable.
There is
So,
increase.
exactly. So without even reading the values, you are able to understand what's going on in the stock. So that's what it is happening. So we are trying to make our user easy to understand the value or the record that the person is looking at, what category that it falls into. So that's why we are going to use icons. So where it is, again, under the same thing, the fourth style is icon sets. You can have minimum of 3. You can go maximum of 5. Okay. You can't have more or less. You can't introduce your own icons over here. In Tableau and all, we can do that. So there, when I teach you, then I'll show you how to change your icons and all. But over here, we have this limitation. And once you've decided to pick our icons, the next step would be to decide what kind of values we are giving. So for example, in this case, let's put about 3 icons. I'll put these 3 icons. Then I'll go to number. And then you will put your values. Always first decide the type and then give the value. The reason being, if you've already put the value and then you change the type, it goes back to some other default value. So first change the type and then put the numbers. Now, when you're putting the numbers, another thing that you need to understand is over here,
Operators.
this greater than equal to greater than sign, there is only greater than equal to and greater than sign. There is no less than sign or less than equal to sign. And because of that, what is important is when you're putting the values, it is always going to be higher to lower. Just to give you an example, let's say if I say this is 3000 and this is 5000. So I've given the opposite to what I'm telling you not to do. Okay. So this is greater than 3000, 3000 to 5000, less than 5000, and I click OK. As soon as I do that, I get this warning saying one or more icon data ranges overlap. Why is it overlapping? Let's talk about number 4000. Now 4000 is greater than 3000. 4000 also lies between 3 to 5000. So which icon should it get? So for this reason, it says that, you know, when you're putting in the values, make sure you're doing the highest value to the lowest value. So I can make this like this. Let's make this 3000 and then click OK. And our icons are ready. So the icons are there along with the value. Again, if you don't want the values to be there, we have edit rule and we can do only show icons and keep the icons only. Got it?
Yes.
Yes.
Now, my only problem with icon sets is that if I'm doing my work or if I'm sending to, let's say, you guys who know Excel and who knows where and how I would have put this thing, it's fine. But when I'm sending a report out to someone, and even though I've given the icons of green, red, and yellow, would the person understand what are the limits of it or what are the ranges based on which I've bifurcated my data?
No.
No. If it's like increase or a decrease kind of data, then you don't have to. But if I'm using three things over here, then yes, definitely I need to tell that person what does it mean. And for that, what do I do?
Create a little box where you mention that what green stands for and what is red.
Yes, I need a legend key, right? So I'm going to copy any one icon, paste it 3 times. And now the icon is because of the value inside it. So if I want a value like a green one, I have to make it greater than 8000. Next was 8 to 3000. And last was less than 3000. So as in when I change my values, this changes. And over here, I can put my small legend key for the person to understand.
I have a question. Can you fill
Yes.
one eye? Can you fill
Ankita, your voice is cutting a little bit.
it on the now?
Not yet. Is it cutting for me only or for others as well?
For us as well.
Yes, for us as
For
well.
all.
For all of us. Okay.
So Ishani, can't we have 2 icons only, red and green? I mean, mostly I operate with only 2.
You operate with only 2.
Either target is met or either not met. So there is nothing in between.
Okay. Then you can do it in the way that, let's say, okay. So if I have to put 2 icons, what do I need to do? I will have that, let's say if it's greater than 8000 or it is greater than, let's say, something like this. Less than 8000, greater than 8000, and we can make this as a red icon, and this one I can put as no icon. That should work. Let's see. Let's see. So all are red and green. Correct? So you can do this one. Yeah.
Ishani, show it again, please.
Yeah. So what I did was, so I said, since there's one target and we're just trying to show what has met the target and what has not met the target. So I just said greater than equal to 8000, met the target. Less than 8000 to 0 has not met the target. So it has become red. And over here, I've set no cell icon. So I just picked up over here, change the cell icon. And over here, picked up this one.
Okay, Ishani, got it.
Okay. Can we filter the column I based upon icons? Yes, we can filter the columns. We can sort the columns, whatever we were able to do last time. With colors, we are able to do it over here. So we can filter if I only want the green ones, or if I don't want to filter and I want to sort, I can do that as well.
Shani, what is the purpose of reverse icon order on that?
Yes, I was going to ask you that thing, same thing. Hold on one second. So, for example, let's say if you talk about a manufacturing unit. Okay. If you talk about a manufacturing unit, and we're looking at the defects in manufacturing. So more defects is a good thing or a bad thing?
Bad thing.
Bad thing. So
Bad
in that
thing.
case, because by default, when you are applying the icons, if you look at them, they always start with green color, right? Red is on the top, green is at the bottom, and green is associated with greater value.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Okay. Now I don't want to associate a green color with a greater value, so I can reverse the icon order.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah.
Right? So sometimes when more is bad, like number of defects, number of accidents, number of deaths due to corona, those are bad things. So we want red symbol to be there. So rather than manually changing the icons, you can do it like this.
Right.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, that makes sense.
All right. So instead of me talking the whole time, but don't take too much time, okay? I want you to experiment with the fourth question, but a quick experiment. Don't take too much time. Fourth question in your sheet, exercise number 3, fourth question. So there is a column called GR approved, which is pretty much, I think, the last column. Somewhere, column Z. On this column, I want you to put icons. How many icons do you need to put?
5.
Four icons, four icons, right? And the values are given. And remember, when you're putting the icons, you have to go from highest value to the lowest value.
I'm done. I'm done, Shani.
Done.
Yeah.
Anyone else who's done?
Done, Shani.
Shweta is done. Okay.
Done, Shani.
Gunjan done. Ashish done.
Shani done.
Deepika.
Done.
All right. Abhishek. And how many of you who said done created a legend key for me?
Not me.
No one, I know that.
Not me. Directly
But
running
remember,
that.
when you do reporting, keep that in the back of your mind. See, whenever you send a product to someone else, just keep yourself in other person's shoe and see that, whether this is understandable or not.
Shani, I'm thankful.
Vivek, done?
Traveling. No, Shani. Actually, I'm traveling, so
Okay.
issue.
But okay, later on, do it.
Okay.
Done. Okay, so let's keep moving because I have a lot of, this was one of the main rule to cover, but I have more rules also. So if I select this, so you have to select this entire column without the header. Go to conditional formatting, edit rule. Oh, sorry, new rule, fourth style. I need
Arrows.
4 icons, and so I'll pick 4 icons over here. And then I'm going to go ahead and change this into numbers.
All numbers.
And then start off with the first one, which was how much?
It's
10.
10
And
lakh.
after that?
Me.
5 lakh.
5.
5.
1.
And after that?
1.
1.
It's created a 10 lakh 1.
Yeah, I used greater than
10
1.
lakh 1.
Okay.
First one is 10 lakh 1.
So greater than this, and this
Yeah.
one is greater than? All of them are greater?
Yes.
Okay. Perfect. And this is done. And this is done. And like I said, the best output would be if you also give a legend key for a person to understand this. Then it would be perfect. Okay, any questions on this?
Ishani, can you go to the that yes, the rule. So doesn't Excel has a problem in evaluating the value more than say 1 lakh because or maybe
No, 1 lakh is a very small number, right? You guys, some of the companies works in millions and billions.
so 15 lakh, say for instance, the value in a cell is 15 lakh. Doesn't the Excel confuse in giving the icon because it is also greater than 5 lakh and 1 lakh?
No, because see, it is going to, if it flows over here, 15 lakh is only met over here. This is 5 lakh to 10 lakh. So 15 lakh is not being met in any other conditions.
Oh, okay.
It is only meeting the first condition, greater than 10 lakh. This is greater than 10, then it's 5 to 10, then it's 5 to 1. So only one condition is being met.
So it will take the range between 5 lakh to 10 lakhs, right? Automatically.
Yeah. So that's what it's creating, right? If you see, if you read the entire line, this symbol when less than equal to 10 lakh and greater than 5 lakh.
Okay, got it.
Understood.
Okay, all right. Okay, moving on. Next set of rules are relatively easier and faster to understand also. The next rule that we are going to work with is the typical rule that we used to have in conditional formatting in the older versions also, which is format only the cell that contain. And this is how our definition of conditional formatting is. Format the cells which meet my condition. So depending on what kind of value is there in the cell, you can work with cell value, which means I'm working with numbers. And the conditions that you will see are also related to numbers, like between, not between, equal to, less than, and so on and so forth. Then we have specific text. If I'm working on text data sets like product column, and I have conditions like containing, not containing, beginning with, ending with. Then we have dates, but dates are very, very limited over here. You will see the dates I have is yesterday, today, tomorrow, last week, this week, next month, which is all pertaining to the current date and time that you have. It is not pertaining to, let's say, if you're working on a 5-year or a 3-year past data set, none of these conditions is going to help me to do a conditional formatting on my data. So date wise, it only works on the current one. In fact, text also has a very limited conditions, containing, not containing, beginning, ending. It does not have anything called equal to. So that's one disadvantage over here. Plus we have things like if I want to identify my blank cells, if I don't want to identify, if I want to identify my non-blank cells, if I want to identify my error cells or no error cells. So these are the choices we have. Since I've picked a number column, I can just to show you how the formatting is done. Let's say we're going to pick value between 3000 to 5000. Now there's no predefined formatting, just like first rule. There was already a predefined formatting. It doesn't have predefined formatting. So you have to click on format. And like we were discussing yesterday, what are the things in formatting? We have number formatting. Then we can work with the font style, font size. We can work with the font colors. You want to underline, single, double, borders, and fill. But mostly use this fill. I would say 99% of the time people are using fill than playing around with anything else. And we may do a fill. Let's say I want to do a lighter color fill. And in the font size, I can play around with the font color and make it darker color. This kind of formatting is also very popular. So these two things only we are going to work with. Either we are going to change the font color or we are going to change the cell color. Cell color, if you change, that becomes the most prominent thing when you're trying to highlight the data. So like this, all the values which is between 3 to 5000 has been highlighted. Simple. Similarly, let's try over here and let's try to put a new rule. I'm going to go to the second rule. Can go to specific text containing the word sun. I can format. And let's say I want to give this color blue and click OK. Click OK. So all the cells with the word sun has been highlighted. Is this rule clear? Very straightforward, simple rule.
Yes, Ishani.
Yes, yes.
Yes.
Okay. Next is top and bottom ranked. So I don't know how many of you use filtering. In filtering also we have these, the third and the fourth criteria that you see over here. That's again available in advanced filtering and auto filters, where you can filter your top values and your bottom values, and you can filter your above average and below average values, right? Same concept is over here, but instead of filtering, we are coloring the cells. So I can pick between top and bottom. I can pick that I want to color my top 10 items, or I want to color my top 50 items, so I can change the value. I want to do it item wise, or I want to do a percentage wise, meaning that if I did, simple example, if I had, let's say 200 records, and out of 200 records, I have to highlight 10 records, top 10. So how many cells are we expecting to color? Minimum
10.
Minimum 10. And why I'm saying minimum 10? Because if few cells have same value, then both of them will be highlighted. But if I say top 10%,
20 cells will be.
then 20 cells, minimum of 20 cells would be there, right? Because it will take 10% of 200 in that case. So that's the difference between the items and the percentage. So that's what top 10 does. Then comes above average, below average. So instead of us understanding what is the average of a column and finding the cells above or below, we can use this. You just have to point out the color the cells which are above average or below average, equal to or above, equal to or below. Or if you're working with the statistical, from a statistical point of view on your data, then your standard deviations can also be used over here. Next one is also very simple and straightforward. Format only unique or duplicate
on
values.
this
Yes.
average one.
Yes.
If we are putting this condition on the table, then if the data change, then it will automatically change the average according to average.
Absolutely. I don't know if you noticed or not, when we were doing bars, the data bars. So initially I used to remove the grand total, but then I had put a grand total for one time and the whole area of grand total got occupied with the larger. One second, let me see if it's still there. See what happened? The grand total was the highest value, so automatically everything
yes.
shrunk down. And if I remove this grand total, so it automatically adjusts. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. The next one is unique and duplicate. This is very straightforward. If I want to color unique values or duplicate values, I can use this. Now, last rule is an interesting rule, very, very interesting rule, very heavily used by everyone. What it says is that you have to use a formula, and the formula will, if the formula returns a value of true, then the condition will format the cell. And if the formula returns a value of false, then it will not get formatted. So what can I put in this area to get true and false?
Logical operators.
Yes, and
If condition.
Functions.
Function.
Can we put if? Does
But
if give us?
it will give us false value also.
No, but the point is if function, and as it is, if function gives itself, it uses true and false. It doesn't return true and false, remember?
Right.
Yeah.
It doesn't return true and false. It uses true and false. So I cannot write a if function over here. But in if we use a logical test, remember that gives you true and false. So you and, or, is blank, all these kind of things that we discussed along with the operators is what you can use in this area, right? And the best part is, think about this question. Guys, can you mute, please? Now, if I say I want to highlight the record, what is the meaning of record? When I say I want to highlight a record, what does that mean? What does a record mean?
Record.
A row is called a record. Okay, a full row is called a record. This is a record. So if I say I want to highlight the record wherever the profit is greater than 2000. I want to highlight the record where the column is more than, where the profit is more than. Guys, please mute. Even I'm forgetting what I'm trying to say. Please mute.
Vivek, please mute yourself.
Yes, because
Yes,
yeah, because I am kind of tending to forget now what I'm saying. So the profit, if let's say we say I want to highlight the records where the profit is greater than 2000, right? So we said we should select the cells. Which cells should I select?
The whole row, you're saying if we need
cells.
to highlight the record, then you have to select the whole row.
Row or the
No, no.
table?
Yeah, table, sorry.
I have to
Table
select
and
the
then
entire table, right? I'll have to select the entire table. Why do
Data.
you need to select the entire table? Because I'm trying to highlight the entire row, right? So I'll select the entire table. Now, do you think I can use any of the rules on the top? Can I use a cell value containing and I say, okay, the value is greater than 2000. Can I use this rule?
No, but it will change
Not
for
really.
all.
Why no for this?
Yes, we can.
We can. So this rule will get applied to all the cells.
Right.
Yes.
So do you think it will work on date and region and sales and customer and product?
No.
No.
No. So we can't. So we can't use this rule, right? The condition that we are checking is not on all the cells. We are coloring the cells, yes, but are we checking condition on all the cells?
No.
No. So I can't use this rule at all. So which rule we'll use? We'll use the last rule. And what should be the condition? We will put an equal to sign because we are writing a formula. And what is the condition? That this cell J2 has to be greater than 2000. Correct?
Yes.
Now this formula that you have written, How does it work? This formula that we have written get assigned to the first value of my selection, the white one, which is A2 cell. So in A2, whether the color will happen or not is dependent on this formula. And the rest of the cell, the formula is copy pasted vertically as well as horizontally. Okay, same formula is going to get copy pasted vertically, horizontally. So do you think we should make some changes here?
Remove dollars.
Remove the dollar sign from
where?
column number.
From J.
From J.
No, from row. Sorry.
From 2.
From row. If
Yeah.
you move it from J, then when it's copy
will-
pasted
yeah.
horizontally, it will go out
Across
of
the
the table. only.
columns, yeah. And we want the
Right?
column to be fixed.
We want the column to be fixed. But yes, rows are changing because it's J2, then J3, then J4.
Yeah,
So I do
gotcha.
this.
Yeah.
And then we click on format. Let's give a nice bright color now. And we click OK and OK. And your records are formatted. So when should I use the last rule? I will use the last rule when I'm trying to color a cell based on condition of some other column or some other field, right? Or a bunch of field. It may be a combination of two field, the condition is created, but I want to highlight something else. All these kind of instances in your work, you will have to use the last rule. Or if you remember when I was talking to you about the date and I said there is a lot of limitation in the date and the text. Again, to overcome those limitations in date and text, we can use the last rule. So if nothing is happening on the top, we use the last rule. Okay, last part, and then I will request you to stay back for 5 to 7 minutes extra to do some exercise. Just one last thing to explain. Now, if you look at this manage rules, and that's the reason I wanted everyone to work in manage rules. Do you see that there are multiple rules have applied?
Yes.
And do you think there are cells which are getting more than one rule on it?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. So if I have cells
Yes.
which has more than one rules being applied on it, which rule will be applicable on it?
Above what?
The last rule which we applied.
Which will be ticked.
Which will be ticked.
Latest one.
Right? Ideally, it will keep on working, and it will, the latest one will be the one which is applied. But if I want to make sure that, okay, if the format, if the profit is greater than 2000, I want this to be yellow, and I don't want any of the other rules to get applied on it. Right? Like you see over here, right now, even if it's yellow, the icon is also there. Because the rule is getting applied. After that, also rule is getting applied. So what we do if I want to make sure that only one rule is being applied, make sure that's on the top. And how you can move with these arrows. Okay. And we are going to put stop if true. Stop if true means if any of the condition is true, of any of the cells has the condition as true, none of the other conditions should be applied on top of it. And once I do that, now you see.
Ishani, can you please do it from starting? Like I missed something. Yes.
Sure. So we were over here.
Yeah.
This is manage rules. You know how to get to manage rules, right?
Yeah.
Right. Okay. So home. I know I've been using my shortcut key today, but this is very long. That's why I use it. Conditional formatting, manage rules. So I get all the
shortcut, Shani? What's the shortcut to it?
So shortcut, typically don't try to remember shortcuts. When you press your Alt key, you see these alphabets coming up.
Yeah.
So what's the alphabet for home?
H.
I
Alt
pressed
H.
H. Now what's the alphabet on conditional formatting?
L.
Alt H L.
Now, no, not Alt. Then it's only Alt is only one time.
Okay.
H.
Okay. So I'll go again. I do it Alt. Then I'm pressing only H, only L, and I want to go to manage rules.
R.
So I'll go to R. Now you see the buttons on the top, right? And you will see there's one letter which is underlined.
Yes.
Yes.
So if I have to put a new
N,
rule,
E,
if I have to
P,
put a new
okay.
rule, what button should I press? N.
And
So Alt N. So for this, Alt N. Then I'm able to open this. So I have not touched the mouse pad at all for this.
Perfect.
Okay. And at the same time, I don't tend to mug it up, because if you use something on a very regular basis, let's say you do conditional formatting for one whole month, automatically your shortcut will be in your brain. But all you need to remember in Excel in today's time is where is what. Don't try to remember the shortcuts at all.
Yeah.
All right, second. So what was stop if true if there are multiple conditions being applied on the same set of cells and we want one particular rule to be the main rule, then we put stop if true in front of it and make sure it's on the top. How do you navigate is using these arrows over here. So if I want to push any on the top, I can just click on the arrow symbol and bring it on top. Clear?
Yes.
Yes, Ishani.
All right, let's do a few questions. Let me mark the questions I really want you to do right now. I think they are all very simple.
Ishani, want to ask something that
Yes.
if you're saying that we need to select the data till the end except for headers, what if we add some more data in that old data, then it will cover the conditional formatting automated or like pivot, or we need to do additional?
Like I said, if you know that the records are being added in your data set, typically I would always request you to convert your ranges to a table, like how we did in pivot. If you're doing it converting into a table, then all your formatting gets passed because it's one single entity. So all the cells in a column have to be identical.
Okay, so you are saying that if there is any chance to add on the raw data, first we go with the pivot and make the conditional
No,
formatting.
no, not go with pivot. Just convert the range into a table. Okay, you don't have to create a pivot. You just have to go to Home tab, go to Format as Table and just convert it into a table. Once you convert this into a table, right, then whatever, icons you have dropped, let's say we created icons over here. I forgot what was the value. Let's try to put something like 10,000. So automatically the icon came. Okay, so if I put a 9 lakh, icon came up.
Create it, convert it into a table so that it will automatically pick the new data.
Absolutely correct.
Got it. Thanks.
Okay. Okay, let's try to do as much as possible, the 3, because tomorrow we are supposed to get into programming bit. Highlight the records of the state FL, NY, and TX. How many conditions?
3.
And if you, let's say, select the column of state and you apply conditional formatting, and let's say, which rule would you like to go to?
We are
The last
highlighting the
one.
records, so
That
we'll
is-
be using the last one. Yeah.
No.
Second.
Did I say records? Yes, I said the records. Sorry. So we will be using the last one. Okay. What formula can I put over here?
Or
OR function. Very good. There are 3 conditions. It is going to be an OR. So we simply write OR and then this. Let me move around the box. So it will be D15 and again the same thing. $D15 is equal to NY, comma, $D15 is equal to, I don't remember what is the other one, TX, and one more I picked, FL, Florida. Okay. And $D15 is equal to FL. Okay, either you can write it inside because sometimes it's not, navigation is not easy to go back and forth in the formula, and the formula, the syntax does not pop up. So what I also do, sometimes I write it in Excel. When I know my formula is working, then I copy the formula and paste it over here.
Yes, that's exactly what I do.
Yeah, that's sometimes when you're making something complicated, it becomes easier to work in Excel and then paste it over here. And let's pick and so what mistake I did not pick the table. So that's one mistake. So instead of writing the entire thing, let me just pick a formatting color. Okay. And okay. Now since I've made that mistake, I'm going to rectify by changing applies to. So in applies to, I'm going to pick this entire table now without the headers. Right? And if I click on OK, now my records are getting highlighted. I did not pick my entire table properly. Clear? Question number 1 is clear to everyone?
Yes.
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 Ishani, I have one question.
Yeah.
Instead of typing the inverted commas NY, FL, and TX, can we write it over a cell and do a referencing for that?
We can, but don't ever do referencing in the main table. But if you had somewhere else, if you made a criteria, then you can. Absolutely, yes. Okay. What about the next one? All disbursement date of 2006. Can we give 3 different colors to 3 different states? If you want 3 different colors to 3 different states, it means 3 unique rules that you're applying, because one rule can give one color.
We have to use second rule.
So you have to use 2 rules then. Okay, Lalit?
Okay,
3 colors means 3 rules.
Okay, sure.
Right? And if you were going to do that, then you can have used the second rule only. No, since record is there, you still can't do it. All right, all disbursement date of 2006. So how will you do this? How will you figure out 2006? Do you have the data as in years?
No. Can we use date diff over here?
Date diff? No, we are not finding the difference in the date, right? We are just trying to find the dates in 2006. So which are the dates in 2006? If I ask you which are the dates in 2006, what is the answer?
So it would be between 1st of Jan to 31st of...
Absolutely correct. 1st of January 2006 to 31st of December 2006. That's it. So which rule can I use?
Second one.
Second one. Absolutely correct. And then in this case, which one?
Date.
Now dates occurring won't work, like I told you.
Okay.
This is all related to current one.
Limited options.
But how is date stored in Excel?
Cell value.
The values between 1st Jan to 31st.
How does
Days, number of
date
days.
stored as whole number, right? So since the dates are stored as a whole number, we can utilize this thing. We can put in 1/1/2006 and 31/12/2006, just like this, like how I've written in the date format, and then give a color to it, and it will understand. So all the 2006 dates are now highlighted. Clear?
Okay.
Yes.
Yes.
Understood why I was able to do it? So this is what I did. I worked in cell value between, and I put straight away the dates. I didn't even convert it into whole number value. It automatically does that for me. So it becomes easier.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Next question. This graphically show the comparison between the total disbursed amount for various months and years. What comes to your mind when you read this question?
Bar.
So which rule will you use?
First rule, first in third. First rule.
First rule, and in that rule, which one? Which
Third one.
format?
Third one.
Data bars.
Right.
Absolutely correct. But to do this, you will have to create a
Table.
Graphically show.
table.
Pivot table. Pivot table.
Exactly. First, you will have to create a pivot table. On that, you can apply this thing.
Shani, can you
Okay.
please show me the rule for date?
For the date one, sure.
Yeah, the between. I mean, it's highlighting all the rules.
So over here, okay, Kshitij, just make sure that your date format is correct. What is your system date format? DDMM, MMDD?
Oh, DDMM.
You have DDMM
DDMM,
only. Then
yeah.
it should have worked. Then
MMDD means
No,
date.
okay, I got you. I'm using MMDDYY and my date format is DDMMYY.
Oh, okay, that's why
Yeah,
everything got highlighted.
Let me just try and.
So instead of 1-1 is fine, but your 12-31 has to be reversed.
Yeah, that's right.
So it's pick up the system format.
Yes.
System date. Okay.
So
Correct.
Shani, in this system will highlight the cell which has the value of 1st January 2006.
Yes. So between always has the extremes included as a part of it.
Kishani, can we choose the specific text also on this?
As in?
In the date one.
In the date one?
Yeah.
Specific text, how? See, this is, think about this is an illusion for us. It is not really a text over here in the cell. Simple thing to understand, once you click in the cell and you go to the formula bar, do you see any text over here?
No.
There is no text. So there is no text in this column. It is for our easy to read, easy to understand that it has been formatted to look like a text, but there is no text in the cell.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Anyone done the last one? The third one? So you can do the third one. If you have any question in the third one, I'll solve it and send it to you anyways. So you can double check over there. And tomorrow we are going to start with the VBA, which is programming. Yes, Tarun.
I have a query in the third one.
Yes, tell me. Have you created it?
Yeah, but couldn't get the proper outcome which I should get.
All right. Do you want to share your screen?
No, I'm on different network. I can't.
Okay. All right. No worries. Let me quickly do it only. So I want to have the dates. And then this date, I'm going to group it as month and year, no quarters involved. So this is done. And then what else do we need? We need the sales value, not sales. What is the question? The question says I need the comparison of amount, graphically show the amount. Something like this. Then I would go ahead and remove my subtotals, remove the grand totals. And once I'm done with this, then what did you do?
Fine, I have done the same, but I thought I'm not going on the right direction.
No, that's fine. So once you're done, just select it. Same process, conditional formatting, new rule. And which rule will you put on this one?
Data bar.
Data bars. That's it. That's it. Done. And you can also remove, only put the show bars, remove that values because graphically is what we needed to see. So we can see very nicely that over here, this is where the maximum disbursement was done. And later on, it has become it's almost gone. So this era was, or this period was 2007, 2006 was the period when the maximum loans were given. Clear?
Thanks. Yeah, thanks.
Ishani, on the top 10 and top percentage, that part is, can you please explain that part again?
Which one?
Top 10.
Top 10 in percentage.
yeah.
Sure,
that's
sure.
it.
So for example, like this is a smaller data set. So let's say if I'm trying to find count A, how many datas are there? There's about 189 data sets, right? Total number.
Yeah, right.
So what will be, let's say 10% of it? It will be 18.9, so about 19, correct?
Yeah. Yes,
And
right.
so this is my 10%. And if I say 10, there will be actually 10 values only, 10 or a little more. So if I go over here and I do conditional formatting, and let's say I want to do the new rule and top and bottom, and I do top 10 and I do coloring. Okay, didn't like that color. Okay, applied. Now let's check how many cells did we get. So we can filter. How many cells did we get? 10 cells.
10. So this
Correct?
will highlight the duplicate values as well. I mean,
If there were duplicates, it would have given more than 10 cells.
okay.
But since these are all unique, it is going to give you only 10 cells, right?
Okay.
And if we do the next one, in which I'll just go ahead and edit that particular rule and say percentage. Okay, click OK and OK. And now let's look at it. We'll filter the data. And now let's count. Now we've got about 80 numerical values.
80. Okay.
Okay, so that's how the difference is.
So it's round up to down.
Round down, right?
Round down. Okay.
All right. So let's wrap up the session for today. Tomorrow we're going to start and do something altogether very different. I just wanted to quickly understand how many of you are programmers. Any programmers in this batch? Anyone who has a programming experience?
Yes, Isani, I have.
Vivek, you have. Okay. And Pratibha knows. Shweta knows. Ooh, C, C++, MATLAB. You got a similar profile like me. And good. So I got 3-4 people. All right. Engineering, yeah. Gunjan also knows. Okay. So basically all engineers would have little bit background of programming. Okay. So from tomorrow, little bit programming, not little bit, heavy duty programming will start. I'll try to keep the classes as easy as possible. But don't get overwhelmed, because Excel you might have found very exciting and easy. VBA might take a toll on you. So just, I want to make sure that you have the same enthusiasm that you maintained in Excel throughout. We will have fun time. Don't worry about that.
Yeah.
All right, I'll see you tomorrow. There is going to be a small pre-assessment, and I know you guys are not coming from a programming background, so I can't ask specific questions on programming, but in general things I can ask just to get a little bit idea of the basics. Okay, so don't get too worried about if you have never done programming, don't know what the word program also means, it's absolutely fine. Don't worry about it. All right.
Okay.
All right. It's
That's
just
what
it's a protocol that we are following, same set of work for all the modules. So that's why we have to take a pre-training on all.
Okay.
All right, but we'll do like we did in Excel. We'll start from the very, very basic, build up our concepts so that at the end of the session, you guys are confident in creating smaller programs. If not writing it, then at least you're confident about picking the program or recording the program and editing it and making it useful for you guys. So that kind of work at least we should end up with.
Where can we find that pre-assessment for programming?
It'll come tomorrow. You will see it in tomorrow. Tomorrow in LMS it will be published. Over there you can give.
Ishani, when you will share our assessment marks?
I will leave that to Vinay to tell when the assessment marks has to be released, because we have to share with the LNT. We can't share directly with you guys.
Okay.
All right, so it may be on our personal email ID or on website.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you.
Okay, guys. Thank you so much. You
Yeah.
have a good day.
Shani?
I'll see you guys tomorrow. Yes.
Thank you, Shani.
Yeah, Shani, I would
Thank you,
like to
Shani.
add everything. One thing.
Yes, Eklavya. Go ahead.
So yeah, Vinay, it can be great if you can ping them about the pre-training assessment over the WhatsApp group also, because I can see that only 34 people are present right now. So everybody will get to know that tomorrow is assessment. So if they have some commitments also, if they can take out the
Sure.
time for the assessment, it can be great.
I will put the message in
Yeah.
wherever I'm connected with them.
Yeah,
WhatsApp,
it's just
internal.
10-15 minutes. It's not going to take too much time. 10
Sure.
to 15 minutes maximum.
Sure, sure.
And okay.
All
All right,
right,
Ishani,
thank you.
thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you,
Thank you,
Shani.
Thank you so
Bye-bye.
much.
Ishani,
Thank you, Sunny.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Ishani,
Sunny.
Shraddha Desai.
Yes.
Ishani, can you put more of the questions of logical operators so that we can practice on that?
Yes, I'm going to do for both. Yesterday I forgot to put for if function. So I'll do today for if function and condition formatting, both of them.
Yeah,
Okay.
sure.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay.
Yeah,
Thank you,
thank you.
Ishani, one small question.
Yes.
Ishani, do we have any class on some functions? I mean, some function like few functions are there, bit complicated functions in Excel.
Like?
To do some if,
Huh?
some if.
Oh, some if it's complicated. Okay. Do you
For
want a
me,
video on that?
for me, I tried but many times, but I failed.
Okay, no problem. So let me do this thing. Let me get a video. Might not be like a solo recorded video, might have some, people discussing in it, but I can give you access to that video.
Okay.
And it will take you through all the conditional functions like COUNTIF, SUMIF, average if, and ifs.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay,
So,
Shani, no problem.
yeah, 1 second. Let me write it down before I tend to talk more, and if I don't write, I have a habit of forgetting. So you want conditional functions video.
Correct, Shani, yeah.
Okay.
Because in my day-to-day works, I need.
That is what you're using more.
Yeah.
All right, great. I'll put that, and I have to send you assignment for if and conditional formatting.
Shani, yesterday someone asked one question.
Yes, Gunjan did. I have not been able to figure it out.
Okay.
Avoiding it now. Yes, I remember his question. It was haunting me because when you're not able to solve something, you know what happens, right? Throughout in your mind, that thing goes on. That's what's going on. So hopefully this week I'm going to solve it.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you. Everybody
Thank
can
you very
log off. Karan has some question. So everybody can log off and we can stop recording. Karan, you can ask
Sure.
your question.
Thanks, Ishani. Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ishani, for that.